Today we're going to have a crochet tutorial and I'm going to attempt to sit in there while the camera's looking down at me so you can see my hands. It's going to be a bit weird, isn't it? Anyway, at least I have your company. For this project I'm using a 2.5mm and 2 different colours, but you can have as many or as little as you like. So that setup works quite good. Yay! Hello, welcome. Oops, that's a handkerchief. A snotty one too, isn't that exciting? Hello! This is a very different video to what I would normally make, but I thought I would make a little tutorial for my fingerless mitts. It's literally just a straight tube of double crochet that's like connected, obviously on the sides, except you leave a gap for the thumb. But yeah, no increasing or decreasing at all. Pretty chill. This one is a bit looser than this one. You can play around with how much looseness, tightness that you want. So we're making a loop and then we're putting your thread through. Okay, you're making your slip knot. And then you're going to make a chain. Okay, I'm not a very good teacher, am I? You wrap it round and you pull it through. You wrap it round, you pull it through, you wrap it round, you pull it through. So we're just going to continue our chain until it fits around the biggest part of our hand, because that's what it needs to fit over. I'm holding both ends of my chain into a circle and just seeing if that fits around my hand. It does. We've finished our chain. We're now going to put our hook through the first chain, wrap some thread. We're going to wrap around our wool and pull it through both. Ugh, this is very graceful, sorry. And now our loop is connected. So what we're now going to do is chain 3. It looks like that. Now that's going to act as our first double crochet. The other thing I like to do is crochet this in, so it's all tucked in. But you can also tuck it in after you've done your crochet, depending on what you prefer. We're now going to do a double crochet into each of these chains, with this 3 chain thing acting as our first double crochet. So let's wrap around. We're going to go into our first chain and pull some wool through. Going to wrap around, pull through 2, wrap around, pull through 2. And we'll repeat that. Wrap it around, go into our next chain, pull some wool through, wrap it around, pull through 2, wrap it around, pull through 2. And you can see how I'm kind of crocheting over this endy bit here. I find that doing the crochets into the chain is like way more fiddly than the rest of the whole glove, so the hard part is first, which is kind of good. Okay, I'm going to keep going around and I'll meet you at the end. Once we get to this point, you don't need to wrap around, you just stick your loop through, 3 chain space area here, and you pull it through like that. And now that's connected. If you don't want to change your colour, then all you gotta do is do 3 chains and then start your double crochet. So see how our 3 chain is on top of our 3 chain here, which means our double crochet will go on top of this double crochet. And then you'll keep double crocheting all the way around and making sure that you have the same number of double crochets so that you're not increasing or decreasing, because you want your glove to be nice and straight. If you do want to change colour, I'll undo this real quick. Come back to here, where are my wee scissors? You cut off a little bit. And I'll put my end through my loop twice, just to lock it in. Pull it tight. With our next colour, we're going to make another slip knot. We're just pulling that through like that. We're going to go right into here, into the top of our 3 chain double crochet thing. Then we're going to pull Oh! My little brother's playing soccer outside. Well, then you grab some of your wool and you pull it through like that. And then you'll do your 3 chains. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to be crocheting over both of my ends, but you could also just weave them in later with your hook if it's easier. Yep, we're going to do the same thing. Do a double crochet into each of our double crochets. Wow! I've gone all the way around. Here you can see I have 1 double crochet left, so let's do that. Yeah, and then we're going to go in here, grab some wool, pull it through like that. Now is probably a good time to check that it still goes over your hand. Lovely. Basically you repeat that step for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rows. And then here we have 4 open rows. And then at the top we have 3 closed rows. You can customize the lengths to be whatever you want. This is just what I do because I like having a long covered wrist. But my mum also realized that if you wear it upside down, you can have nice fingers if you're going for a very icy walk. And then you can also fold it over if you want your fingers back. So pretty funny. You can do whatever you want with this pattern. So I've got a slip knot with my new colour. We're going to go in to the top of our 3 chain thing, and then we're going to do 3 chains again. At this point it does kind of look like you have this open space here, but still do your first double crochet into the double crochet just to make sure you have no increasing. So just to emphasize again, just to be annoying, make sure that you have 1 double crochet for every double crochet, so it's the same number. This chain is for this chain here. It is on an angle, but don't be fooled because it straightens up when you connect it. And then this double crochet here connects to this pink one that I just did. And I'm pointing this out because I used to make the mistake of accidentally adding another double crochet in here, but you don't want any increasing. And if you're unsure, just count all your double crochets and make sure they're the same on each row. I'm now going to show you how to do the thumb hole part. I should just say as well, if you don't have a 2.5mm, it doesn't matter, use whatever hook size you want. I just really like that tight, compact feeling. You're going to start your row off as normal, basically. So, as you can see, I've finished my row. But if you are using just one colour, what you can do is flip it and then start your next row backwards, like this. And go all the way around. And then you could go all the way around, and then you'd stop here, and then you'd start your next row from here, and then go all the way back around again. But I'm changing colours, so I'm going to tie this off here. If you are switching colours, you don't have to go backwards. You can just keep going the same way that you were going. I just like to go the same way because the front of the stitch often looks prettier than the back of the stitch, but it doesn't matter. Okay, I just paused this because I realized I actually want to tuck this guy in because it's actually easier to do it now than it is after you've crocheted over it. So tucking stuff in doesn't really matter because you can't really see it at all. So where you put your hook doesn't matter. But I'm just putting my hook through there and pulling that through, and then I'm going the other way. So in the next stitch, I'll pull that through like that, and then like that, and that, and like that. Cool. So we're finishing this row, and then we're gonna tie that off. Cool, we've done 3 open rows so far, so the next one we are actually going to connect at the top, but also like experiment with what size thumb hole you want. So now we've got something that looks a bit like this. Hey, so that's what my thumb hole is looking like. Basically we just continue what we were doing down here, but up here for as long as you desire, and your glove is basically done. Well done, everybody. If you do make these, I would love to see. Tag me on Instagram, Celia Bumblebee. Thank you for watching. If that was too confusing, let me know. Give me feedback on my teaching skills. Comment down below any questions you have. This isn't really my normal video, so don't expect any more. Hello, goodbye, have a nice day, and you're amazing even when you don't feel amazing. Oh. I hope you have a beautiful day. I hope you have a beautiful day. I hope you have a really nice day. I hope you have a really nice day. And just remember that you're amazing, even when you don't feel amazing.